All right, what's up, guys? It is Saturday, November 2nd here. We got Jeff Mathwins with me, and Brayton was here. Looks like he just disconnected. I'll add him back. There he is.
Yeah, I think I'm having some internet issues out here.
No big deal. All right, I'll do a little recap of my last month here. I'm probably going to do a YouTube video of this, but I'll go over some of my results here. Comes some of the categories that I did well and struggled in. So I was down. This is my first month that I actually finished negative. So I think it was actually 19 straight months in a row where I made profit EV betting, which is pretty insane. I knew I was due for a little regression here. I'm actually kind of happy where I ended up down 1,600, and my units are definitely over $100, but I still keep them around 100 because sometimes I can only get $20 off on a bet. Sometimes I can get a couple hundred, but I never really bet more than like $300 at once. So really around like 16 units probably. But at one point, October 21st, I don't even think I was actually lower than this at one point. I was down below $4,000. And I started the month almost up 1,000. So I had almost like a 50 unit downswing to end the month, and then had a nice little pop back here where I almost got back to even, gave a little bit back at the end of the month, but overall down 1% ROI, really not that bad. If I'm going to have a losing month, it's not terrible. A couple of the categories I'll point out. The NBA was amazing to me. It's about a 9% ROI over 300 something bets. These are mostly, I don't know if I have my player props tagged too, but my player props are around 10% ROI too, but I only have like 50 bets on those. The couple leagues that I struggled in so bad this month, and I'll just point these out. The NHL and college football, I just got absolutely smoked. And I know a lot of people are doing pretty good on NHL main lines, but I don't know about you guys, but I think once this loads, I was down like 15% ROI, and I wasn't placing like long shot bets. I was just getting hammered. How's your NHL been going this month, guys?
That's kind of crazy because I was actually had over a 6% ROI and almost $3,000 in profits off NHL in the month of October. And I finished down about $700 on the month. But I once again, just like the previous month, just like September, my first 2 weeks was just absolutely brutal. So I was digging out of like a 15, 16 unit hole and almost made it out. But yeah, NHL was good for me that month or this month.
I've seen a lot of people post amazing NHL stuff, so I'm like, this is just a crazy bad streak. I mean, it's only 175 bets or whatever, so it's not the end of the world here. But I mean, CLV is still pretty good.
Yeah, my NHL is or has been profitable. I can't look at it, but I think I was up a couple units. Not anything crazy, but overall profitable.
How's Matthews? How's your NHL player props doing?
So overall, like if I've got a couple different breakdowns, and I'll post this to our premium guys, or I'll even post it to our free guys in the Discord at some point today. But overall, all NHL props from our NHL prop bot have and this is a little bit skewed because I went heavy on the units at the end, but 24% ROI, which is insane and not consistent. But I'll give a better breakdown in the Discord. But a lot of that is due to the anytime goal scorers I've been posting on both Pickett and X. Those have been absolutely crushing it for me this month. That's kind of where that 25% ROI comes from. I was doing a lot of kind of just data collection and betting everything the bot would spit out, EV percentage wise, from 2% all the way up to some of the bets go up to like 15% positive EV. So I'm going to post that breakdown for everybody in Discord today. But overall, it's been good. Everything over 5% is kind of that sweet spot that's been absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, I think with NHL player props or just any of these kind of like plus 200 type of props are going to see you definitely want higher EVs. So with NHL for me, and I think me and Brayton talked about this last stream, is I kind of just gave up on the NHL props right now because I'm just getting bled out in the NHL market. So I haven't dipped back into it. But once I see your stats, I'm sure I'm going to want to start playing them again.
I just kind of forget to check it. There's just so much basketball and everything else that it's kind of lower on my Discord channel list. Yeah, I almost forget to check it, and so I don't know. I haven't been taking many.
So I will say every single NHL player prop bet that I take is between 5 and 6 a.m. Eastern time. Like I hop on them real early, first thing when I get up, and then I don't touch them the rest of the day because the rest of the day I'm focused on kind of what Brayton's saying. Then I'm really focused on catching NBA Steam plays or some of the more mainline plays throughout the day.
Yeah. I want to show one play in the Discord real quick because this definitely looks really good. We have this is on ESPN bet right now. First half spread Air Force plus 13.5 points, plus 100. Bookmaker just dove from like minus 102 down to minus 113. So a 10-cent move there. And it looks like Circa just opened at minus 115. So this is a bet definitely worth playing. It's good movement right there.
I wish I could.
Yeah, Brayton is out. I'm going to actually see.
It's all right, Brayton. I can't play it either. Or I can for like 25 cents.
You're that limited on. I don't know how much I can actually get on this. Let me try right now.
I bet I can get like $17 on it. I don't even have money in my ESPN account anymore to check, though.
It seems like my ESPN's been about like 50 is what they'll let me get.
I get like 50 and 100 off. So on like main lines. I don't know about first. Let's see. First half here. First half spread. I think it actually might have bumped to. I don't even think they're offering the line anymore. It's actually I'm seeing plus 11.5. So they bumped that 2 points. See some FanDuel pings. Scroll down to the bottom.
Yeah, these days I'm just hammering FanDuel as much as I can.
A lot of market average here. Someone already said this one's dead, but this was a good bet. Looks like Mathwin's got on it. This is the Army versus Air Force over first half.
Over 21.
I have full game on that for sure. One other thing on Pickett, actually, me and Jeff were just talking about this before we hopped on stream. If you noticed, it's not just Pickett Pro where you can customize your CLV book, or do you know if that's just Pro?
I would think it's just Pro.
I thought it was.
I don't know.
All right, well, I'll talk about it anyway. But the Pickett Pro added, you can customize which book your closing line value is calculated to. So I think myself and Jeff we both selected Pinnacle and Circa as the DVIG, which is, there's a couple issues with it. Number one is we're betting a bunch of player props too. So you're going to see DVIGs to Pinnacle for player props, which is not really ideal. But the mainline stuff's pretty good. The only thing we see is that it's not taking the no VIG of Pinnacle. It's just taking the Pinnacle line and comparing it. So like yesterday, actually, let's look at yesterday. Yesterday beat Pinnacle, closing line 92% of the time. But really you have to, in this closing line percentage, is you really have to overcome the VIG of Pinnacle. So let's just say most of the markets I'm betting into are probably 3 to 5% VIG. So, I need to keep this number probably up over like 4.5% for it to be good. So just something, I'm not actually expecting to make 5.86%. I'm probably more expected to make like 1.5% without the VIG remove, if that makes sense.
Need to go do that.
I wish they would add a no VIG, select your book and then have a no VIG. But
when I checked, I didn't see that they had. I didn't know they had Circa, or I thought it was just Pinnacle.
I've only seen Circa actually. Let's see, Circa pop up a couple times.
No. Go back to that one, Robbie. Click the drop down arrow next to Pinnacle.
Okay. So yeah, good value to Circa. So that's cool. So Circa's at plus 100, and I got that 114. That's kind of tough too when it comes to college football. We don't want to compare it to Pinnacle because they're not good at college football anyway. So I don't know if it takes. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So it doesn't. Which one does it grab?
I will say, like, by the time lines close, Pinnacle is usually pretty similar to Circa and Bookmaker. By the time it closes, it's just throughout the week we don't really want to chase their steam because their limits are so much smaller than Circa. The other thing I wish they would do in Pro, and maybe they'll add this later, is I wish they let you kind of pick by market how you wanted to calculate your CLV. Like if I could say, hey, like college football main lines, I want to calculate CLV from this combination of books or something like that. That'd be a really cool feature for them to add.
Yeah, it seems like they're adding, then they're focusing on the kind of the pro tool a little bit, a lot more. I think they're getting a lot of good feedback. So
I want to take a second and shout out our guy Sigma. If for those of you who haven't checked out Sigma, the guy is absolutely slaying right now. College football props last night went 3-1. College football, what was that, Thursday night? Was it we were on Tulane?
Yep, hit that twice.
And then hit that twice. Thursday night football, he was up on. He's just, if you haven't checked out Sigma, there's a 3-day free trial. Check that out because it is definitely worth the investment. One of the best bottom up bettors in the industry. Super happy to have him on board with us.
He posted 28 NFL player props on yesterday. I think I ended up grabbing them all, and I think almost every single one of them moved in our favor too, which is nice. But this is my little sample size from Sigma, 22 and 13. I'm betting $100 just flat, $722. So pretty good result.
I won't lie. Like when Sigma throws something out, I usually can't get more than a couple units down just because of my limits. So I'm usually just trying to get as much as possible. 70 and 45 on Sigma plays with a 9% ROI so far this year.
Nice. So I basically been betting, same with me. Like if he posts one at MGM, I'm not going to MGM and betting it for the $5 max bet they're going to let me put on it. But since his projections are showing in high values, we're not looking at 2% edges. Like his projections are showing 25% edges. So we have a little leeway to bet into a market that isn't, exactly the way he bet it. He says for passing props and receiving props, if you can get it within 2 yards of what he calls out, it's still a good bet. So I've been able to hit just a lot on FanDuel. I think I probably placed 20 prop bets on FanDuel.
So right now,
I will say too, go ahead, Brady.
Yeah, I'm so on Sigma, I'm 60 and 52, 5% ROI, 4 up right now.
Nice.
Yeah. I will say, as Sigma posts, when he posts his plays, just because he puts MGM's where the line is the best at. But with his projections, that's not the only book. I would still
line shop
and see if you can find it somewhere else within his chase rules, because you can usually, most of his plays I can get off on both FanDuel and DraftKings, and they're within kind of his chase rules, and so it's just if you can get multiple outs within, if you're a limited sports bettor and then your unit size is, obviously if you're getting a full unit down, you don't need to do that, but make sure you're line shopping for multiple outs if you need it.
The other thing too is my Massachusetts a little weird, but the DFS platforms with underdogs and prize picks, if you run an underdog, I know a 3-leg, just standard straight parlay pays to -122 odds on the 3 legs. So if you can kind of find good props on the underdog, there's tons of value there too. I'm seeing Sigma will post something and underdog might be 5-6 yards off. So there's tons of value on underdog, but Massachusetts it's a weird champions pick. So you don't know the payout until there's a set prize pool. They changed up all the rules. It's pretty dumb. So I don't use the DFS anymore, but.
And I think the members
just had a nice ping on FanDuel.
I will.
It's a first quarter, so I wouldn't unload on it, but you're talking about 2.5% day of over 10.5 to bookmaker.
Yeah, I'll place this one.
Robbie, I know you were hurting with kind of first quarter, first half early in the season. Is that still the case?
All of college football was bad last month for me. I haven't broken it down to exactly which markets were killing me the most. The one thing I will say, and that I'm doing a little different, is just I was getting way too aggressive early in the week trying to bet everything I could for college football. So now I wait for the game to be 1 or 2 days out. And especially if I'll bet most of the first quarter stuff day of, especially if I see a little movement. but that's kind of something that I'm just changing this month. I'm just being a little more selective with college football.
Completely agree on timing and everything.
Yeah, and I think you're not going to have any trouble getting your bankroll out this time of year. So it allows you to be a little bit more selective and still get a lot of volume down.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Evie Adam too, because I didn't actually have my notifications on for the mod call outs, but he's been going off on the NBA player props like right before game time. I don't know if you guys have been catching that, but he's up like I think like 10 units, and he's been every time I check, he's been posting like over 10 plays a day. So definitely want to give him a shout out for putting the extra work.
Yeah, we actually changed that to the SharpMoney call out too. So that's where he's posting. So make sure if you don't have the SharpMoney call out role, add that, because like Robbie said, he's been absolutely killing it.
Yeah, so he doesn't have the record posted here, but with his call outs right here, he's up 8.11 units. It's only been a few days into the season. All right, here, 114 props sent, 62 and 52, and up 8.1 units. So definitely be looking out for these. Looks like, yeah, he is posting them at like almost 8 o'clock at night, a little before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's just hammering them right before game time.
Yep.
All right, what else do we have? NBA has been, insanely good for me. Same type of strategy where I'm kind of just waiting for closer to game time for the first quarter stuff, or just waiting for good movement. I know, Jeff, you did a live stream by yourself the other day. Definitely made some good points where you're just trying to catch steam on the smaller market stuff.
Yeah, and with NBA, kind of all markets, I'm looking for like big cent jumps. Like I'm talking 5 cents or more on a certain run versus like 1 to 2 cents a change. Just because NBA is just a little different than football like that. Like usually, like I'll see NBA lines kind of go up to like fluctuate 2 or 3 cents, and you're not really getting that big sharp run like you will see other sports do. So I want to see like a drastic run before I hop on a bet.
Yeah, same. Here's a play that I want to point out, because a lot of market average bets come up, and I'll just tell you guys my strategy when it comes to these market average where we don't have a sharp book. So first of all, for the most part, I'm not like touching FanDuel on market averages. I'm not going to bet into FanDuel, but I do like betting into softer books like MGM, ESPN, even Caesar. Sometimes when you see, MGM's just sitting here at plus 175 or whatever it is, they're at 160. And, all these DraftKings and FanDuel just drop down to plus 130, plus 139. So that this is a market average bet that I would take. Just because sharp books don't have the lines out, I'm sure FanDuel and DraftKings, they're moving in that direction. So I would definitely take this bet.
I've been taking market average closer to game time, and it seems to be working really well.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten this whole, there's a lot of Army and Air Force here where you just see these retail books dropping. They're dropping for a reason. So it's definitely good plays on MGM. See if I can actually get any money off on this. Under 36.5 plus 160. College football for MGM is not great.
On basketball, I've been kind of waiting just recently until the afternoon to almost bet it. How do y'all feel about that?
For NBA, you're saying?
Yeah, for NBA, I've been kind of waiting. It's been since I watched your live stream, Matt, that I've kind of waited and not taking them first thing in the morning, kind of watching it, and then a couple hours before tip, start taking them.
The one thing I will say is, I think there's an in between where, like when I can catch, if you catch a line like an opening line to Pinnacle, then I've been hitting them like overnight or really early in the morning, and then there's kind of that dead period, probably from like 7-8 o'clock till like 4 o'clock at night from 7, 8 in the morning to 4 o'clock at night where I pretty much don't bet. And then once the markets are shaped up a little better, I bet into them later in the day. But the overnight plays are like the really, really early plays where it's basically just Pinnacle opening up. I've had some
been pretty good
beats. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
So yeah, I don't really like. Obviously, the later you get in the day, the bigger the limits are on the sharp books, so you can be more confident in your like some movement. But even early in the day, if I'm seeing like a 7 to 10 cent move, I've been playing those and getting some great closing line value still. So I would just, especially early in the day, I wouldn't play smaller moves. I'd look for those big moves, and then later in the day, you can be a little like less selective in terms of like I'm only taking like a 10-cent move because the limits are so much bigger that the lines are sharper.
There's a couple. I'll share a couple NBA bot plays here. Jalen Green under 5.5 rebounds, -105 on MGM. We have FanDuel sitting at -132, BetOnline -116, Caesars -121. Love seeing FanDuel at -132. That's kind of the most sharp book when it comes to player props. So this is definitely a play I would be on here. And Horford over points. So who do we got for deep? Getting +100 odds, 2.5% EV. Same thing, FanDuel. Everyone's calling this the favorite. BetOnline -114, FanDuel -122. Getting it at +100 on MGM. You can definitely spray MGM on props. And that's why the limits let anyone, once you start making enough money, they just kind of just limit you down to nothing. But I definitely had a good look.
Starting to experience that for the first time.
Yeah, the limits.
Yeah, on props.
Yeah, I get like
for talking NBA props. Sigma also puts out NBA props. He just posted his results from last night's games. 25 and 21, almost a 4-unit return.
Nice. I just pulled that one up. Oh, NBA props. Is that where it was?
Yeah.
25, 21. Yeah, he posted.
His official, unofficial plays.
Yeah, he's been doing some tests, but he's been sending them out just so people can bet them if they want. But he's had really good success so far. So
and look, not only is he like really good at this, the transparency on everything has been really cool to see. You know, he shows everything.
What I'm most excited about is we talked about it, but he's finding good value on FanDuel. If I can beat FanDuel betting NBA props, I mean, it could be a crazy year if we could do that.
Unlock a whole. Yep, that's the cheat code.
FanDuel props, I don't even touch them for basketball.
Me either. Right.
Unless it's something crazy, I'll maybe post a play once in a while. But for us, when we're top down betting, FanDuel it would be like betting into Pinnacle on a main line. That's how I view it because we're using FanDuel as the sharp. So it just doesn't make sense for us to bet it. But if you can bottom up it and find value, then it's a whole new ball game. Here's one I like here that just popped up. Clippers and Thunder. I mean, this is a first quarter spread. It's only 1.5% EV, but we already have a little bit of movement coming in our direction. It's not a huge jump, but I do like seeing the retail book starting to come down a little bit too. This is probably a play.
This is when I'm staying off, Robbie. Like this is only 2 cents. It's moving from 138 to 140, like especially early in the day like this. And I'm not gonna hold against you if you take it, but I'm probably holding off on something like this.
Yeah, this is definitely a borderline one. I might actually take this, but it's just one of those ones.
I think that's what's good to learn. And I think Jeff's live stream kind of opened my eyes, and I'm sure a lot of members' eyes. You know, we were used to betting MLB for so long that I could quickly look at that and I would bet the hell out of that chart on baseball, right? And so it's just kind of changing your mind a little bit to look at these a little bit more critically and try to find more of a drop, you know, and odds.
I'm gonna actually pull up Pinnacle odds dropper here, and let's just look at some limits. Be good.
I think it's also good to kind of note, like, this is also an art, not a science, right? There's no like bet this, don't bet this. Like Robbie, like all three of us are all very profitable sports bettors. We don't all attack these pings the same way. Like there's not necessarily a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, but you have to have your way to do it that works. Like just because Robbie's on a play doesn't mean I'm going to go take it. But
I think that's it. It's finding your strategy, staying consistent with it, and then revisiting the results from being consistent and what you decide to do.
So actually, the one big thing that's kind of shocking is spreads have such higher limits than totals. So like first quarter spreads, I would trust more than first quarter totals. But let me look right here. All right, everything just populated. So this is first quarter. We're just looking on our Discord here. We had let me go back real quick. Clippers plus 2.5 for the first quarter point spread. So Clippers are home 2.5. So $1,500 limits actually, which is kind of a lot. I feel like for this far out. So I mean, I don't hate that, but you can see kind of the wrong movement here too, where this orange line is the limit going up from 1K to 1,500. And the second that happened, it actually got priced backwards. We're seeing a little bit drop back down here, but not really a good line chart. Let's look at totals. So totals for the first quarter, you're only talking $500 limit. So spreads are 3x the amount right now, just for first quarter, which is kind of crazy. Let's look at full game stuff just for the hell of it. So 10K spreads. These are alt lines. Let me get rid of the alts. Yeah, 10K spreads and $2,500 totals. So that just goes to show you the totals might be a way more volatile market if you're just projecting it off of Pinnacle. But spreads definitely real solid.
We have a question.
Hey, Breeze, there is a link to the live stream, or you can find it on our Twitch page, but they're all saved. You can go back and watch them.
Yeah, does the Twitch save all of them? Because I feel like
I'm not sure. I know the YouTube. I just looked at YouTube. So YouTube has Jeff's from Monday or whenever that was.
So what about this one, Jeff? Can you see this one? Another first quarter. We have. I'll let you look at it. You can see it, right?
What book? ESPN.
ESPN. While you do that, I'm going to place the bet, but I won't let that influence you.
Yeah, I mean, so this one, I like this one. You're talking about like from 8 a.m. this morning, so the last 2 hours, it's going from -120 to -137. I'm talking about 17 cents worth of movement there. ESPN, I don't take any consideration for them moving the opposite direction. I actually like that because ESPN, I don't really care about their opinion. I'd be all over this.
All right, let's see what I can get on it. First quarter. Yeah, first quarter stuff is not, you don't get too much down. Let's see. Man, I have a hard time. I bet so much on my phone that when I'm on my computer, I have a hard time finding where these markets are. First quarter total. They're not even. Yeah, that bumped to under 58.5. So already moved it on us, I think.
BK Rumhead, yep. Line moved to 58.5.
NFL props. What do we got here? This is probably one I wouldn't play on Fanatics, honestly. We have Jaden Daniels over 1.5 passing touchdowns, plus 120. The market's pretty split here, and I really just try to look at FanDuel and BetOnline. FanDuel's at plus 112, so it's only an 8-cent difference there. BetOnline plus 100. Even Circa is probably the next book I would go to, plus 110. Not too much of a difference there for me to bet that one, to be honest.
What are your numbers like this year betting props, football props into FanDuel?
I don't know about into FanDuel. I was up like 10% ROI and 17 units going into last Sunday, and I lost like every single bet. So I'm down like 2 units total. I went like 1 in 15 or something.
Yeah,
but it was great the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, so I'm still up about 5 units, 3.5% ROI, but into FanDuel specifically, I still have a 3% ROI,
Nice.
up about 2.5 units. So I wouldn't, and this is where kind of market or sport matters too. Like I would
Mhm.
never bet into the NBA FanDuel player prop market, but I do think, just based on market average, you can find some outliers in the football market and bet
Yeah.
into them.
They haven't scared me away from betting them in football props. I'm betting
Yeah.
it.
Not yet, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, not yet. We're halfway through, so
Yeah, no, that's true. How many bets you guys got out today? Let me go over my picket.
not much.
Let's see. Also, we need Hales to win 3. I think a lot of us are on. So how you say this name? This tennis player, Hales. Hales.
Sure.
I have 3. I have the -1.5 sets. I have -3.5 game spread. All over that one. Started the day off 0-1.
I do want to, while I'm thinking about it, give a shout out to Mookie, because last week we talked about Cobbs hitting that big king of the court bet, and then Mookie hit one for $1,600, so a $1,600 bonus bet.
Oh, he
Shout
hit
out
the
Mookie.
$1,600 one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Mookie.
Nice. Yeah, that's huge. They've hit 3, right?
Yeah, 3.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Unreal how good those guys are doing right now.
Yeah.
I think they've gotten the Discord probably $2,800 and maybe more, almost $3,000 in bonus bets in a week. So
yeah, and that's all
shout out
free.
those guys.
That's all in the free section too. So anyone can join and follow their plays. Like I said, promos are the #1 way to build your bankroll. It kind of makes it so easy if you actually identify which promos are good to play and how to play them. One thing I'll say that is tough, and even when I was growing my bankroll, I never really took advantage of it, was the same game parlay stuff, because the VIG in the same game parlays can be really high. So it's hard to actually say you're getting a 25% profit boost, but you need to put 4 legs together in a same game parlay. It's actually kind of tough to find value, but the promo team does a good job of like correlating bets and stuff like that to actually get an edge. So the same game parlays are because like if I get a regular profit boost, I kind of blindly put it on whatever. But the same game parlay stuff is where I always tail the promo team, because that's where doing the extra research actually pays off bigger. Couple first half spreads here. FanDuel. So yeah, we talked about this too. Obviously, first half markets are better than first quarter markets. Here's one I would probably play just because it's a first half spread, so the limits are probably pretty good. There's not too much movement here. Pinnacle's pretty flat. It's one of those bets where it's like, it could go one way or the other, but something that I'll take. Wizards +6.5 minus. So it already bumped down to -122. Fair value is -123. So you could still play it, but you're probably talking like a quarter of a unit it's probably worth now. Here's one with a little bit of movement. It's only a 3-cent movement, but another first half spread. So the limits are probably pretty good. I'm going to try hitting this one, and if I get it down, I'm going to just double check to see what the limits were actually on this. So Spurs +2.5 first half spread on FanDuel, -110. So it's a market too, which is good.
Limits on a first half spread right now are probably around 3K.
I don't hate that. Do you have like a threshold where you think like this is where limits are pretty accurate, or like trust them more?
I don't know. I haven't honestly. I would have to have more data in terms of like when I was placing my bets versus what the limits were. You're talking about 3,000. That's going to be higher than most NHL limits. That's going to be, or at least most, like at this time of day. The only thing that's really going to have higher limits than that is going to be your NFL, college football still will. That's a pretty high limit.
It's 2K.
Most of the obscure, most of the smaller markets are like $500 to $1,000 limits. So you're talking, that's a pretty good size limit.
Yeah. See, I want to actually know. I don't even know if this information is public. I'm sure someone knows it, but like I wonder how much money it takes to move a market. Like how many $2,000 bets needs to go into the Spurs plus 1.5 to actually move that number to +1. You know, I'm just curious on how much money it actually takes.
I think it's so. I don't think there is a like just one answer to that.
Yeah,
I think it's like you'll hear Jeff, and I'm blanking on his last name, but from Circa, the head bookmaker at Circa Vegas, you'll hear him talk about like there's just certain markets and games that he is more confident in. So he'll take a huge bet on one side of the market. And if he had less confidence in his projection and in his number, he might move. But he's like, I know this is the right number. I'll take all this money and I'm still not going to move it because I really believe this is the right number. So I don't know if there is a answer to that kind of covers everything.
Yeah, it's probably not. Oh, what is this? Is this a basketball play? Who are these teams?
No, this is tennis. It's tennis.
What is it? Oh,
tennis.
Game. Oh, I thought it said. Never mind. My bad. That's a good tennis play.
Yep, I hit it.
I did. Yeah. So college football. Does that start? My college basketball. That starts in a couple days, right?
Monday, maybe.
Monday.
Did I see Monday.
Yeah.
At noon.
So we're building the bot right now. I actually saw a couple pings for it, but I don't think all the markets are put up yet, or they might be, but we're just not seeing plays yet, obviously, because it's early. We haven't had much movement, but I'm curious to see. I wonder if we're going to get just bombarded with pings because it's going to be so many like first quarter bets like popping off. So I'm kind of worried it might be too much. What are you getting off on tennis right now on DraftKings math?
$20 to $50.
Same. Sometimes we get they're pings like right at the start of a match, and when you log into the book to bet them, it says it's live, but the score still hasn't changed 0-0.
I play all those.
I play those too.
When they actually let you bet. Like, sometimes I get a little over 100 on those. Honestly, I think it's just because they're set to live, even though the game hasn't started yet.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So you're getting DraftKings live limits there instead of their pregame limits.
Yep. So it's kind of cool, but we also
I'm able to get a couple $100 on those live ones.
Nice. So you just want to make sure
that the game
is actually live, though, because then our odds might be a little off. So
it's interesting with DraftKings too. DraftKings, for whatever reason, has a tendency to its odds go up at the start of the match without playing anything. So like a line would have been like -105 pre-match, but as soon as the live starts, it like bumps to like +105. Yeah. And I have no idea why, or kind of why that's kind of a bug in their lines, but it seems to be the case on almost every match.
Yeah, I see that all the time too. All right, should we look at an NHL prop here? Holy crap, there are like 500 plays. I haven't opened this channel up in a while.
We have a question about a Purdue ladder that keeps coming through on ESPN.
It's probably a market average, right? I think I saw that earlier. Here, I'll load it first. Yeah, so this Purdue ladder, small 1% EV. It's pinging every single line for the most part. This is one that I'd probably play just because ESPN is so soft. Pinnacle is +140, though. You kind of just have to treat them as another retail book when it comes to college. So I don't like seeing one book that's within 10 cents. But FanDuel and DraftKings, 130 and 128. I'd take a stab at +150. Yeah, definitely not bad here. I'm surprised. Oh, it's an alternate market, so Bookmaker and Circa don't have lines here, but just something I would probably play. Try playing it, actually. We talk about it all the time too, but ladders, just pick your pick the highest. So this ladder is Purdue minus 3.5, minus 4.5, minus 5.5. So pick the one with the most EV. So I'm seeing 2.2% EV here, 2.4% EV there. I think 2.4 is the best value. So I should actually be playing this Purdue minus 3.5 at 135. The one thing I say if you want to ladder it is kind of pick, look at, say you're playing half Kelly into this market. Let's just round this up to 1 unit. If you want to ladder them all, I would just spread your 1 unit out across all these bets. So put, there's 4 pings on Purdue ladder and you want to get them all covered without putting, 4 units on it. I would just do quarter units on all of them. Because you don't want to go through and just hit every single one for, what it's recommending.
So what he was asking if it's a bad thing that the play stays there for a while, meaning it's not, retail's not coming off their line.
No, I don't really think so. They're not like a massive outlier. Like, I mean, we're talking like 1 to 2% an edge to like a few retail books. And they might even be pricing their line off of kind of trying to keep it closer to Pinnacle. So I'm just not really worried about ESPN doing anything, showing any type of confidence, to be honest. When it comes to
if FanDuel was out there for a while, confident in their line, then maybe you ask a question, question yourself.
Yeah, especially like lower limit markets, like these weird alternate lines and team totals and stuff like that. Like I kind of have a little bit of faith in FanDuel and stuff because the sharp books are only taking $500 limits. I'm sure FanDuel can price a line just as good as, kind of where the sharp books are and weird team totals and stuff like that. Here's a 76ers minus 2.5 on FanDuel. Pinnacle just dropped from plus 145 down to plus 116. That's a big drop. Let's see if they still have it. Minus 2.5 plus 128. Full game spread too, so big limits here. It's still up. Go grab it. The one thing I've been doing too, when it comes to unit sizing for the NBA is like first quarters. I kind of just have this scale set where if I'm betting a first quarter bet, I'm putting $100 down. If I'm betting a first half, I'm putting $150 down. And if I'm betting full game, I'm betting like $250, just because there's that much difference in limits. So it's just a kind of a trust factor. That's just how I'm going about it. And if I start tracking all the first quarter stuff and they look good, then I'll probably bump that up. But yeah, that I love that ping, man. It's good play. MGM's getting some pings. First quarter spread. Yeah, really just looking for higher EVs or really big movement. This looks drastic, but Pinnacle probably only came from like plus 103 or something down to minus 105. So not too much movement there. 76ers, though, obviously we just saw them get some steam for full game. So first quarter stuff is moving too, obviously.
We have someone asking if the NBA prop bot is working. I haven't been in the Discord this morning, so have we seen some pings?
Yeah, I just looked at one a minute ago. It looks like everything's cleared right now. Oh, here's one on MGM.
Yeah,
there's a couple on MGM, but
the volume on those they'll increase closer to game time.
I think like early morning, and then like I wake up at like 5 a.m. and I find tons of plays just sitting here, and then like middle of the day stuff is just kind of dead, and then it gets back busy like right before game time.
Enjoy the dead for now.
Yeah,
it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, speaking about those early mornings, I know Jeff's a dad. Daylight saving time tomorrow. It's brutal when you have kids. So especially this way. So now my kids usually wake up at like 5:36. Now it's going to be 4:30.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, I never got back to. I wanted to look at the NHL props. Maybe I'll place a few while we're on stream with a little help from Jeff here to give me some confidence.
So Jeff, are you hitting everything? Just EV, just paying attention to EV. So you're hitting gold scores, you're hitting whatever.
All of it.
Yep. Okay.
You don't care if it's plus 300 for a goal scorer,
right?
What if? All right.
So
here's one that I want to point out to you. We have MGM at plus 134 and FanDuel at 300. Would you avoid that, or would you still just? I know you're not going to bet into MGM because you can't get any money down. Avoid that play.
Play it.
Really?
I'd play that. Yeah, heck yeah. So MGM and FanDuel are usually the two highest odds for NHL props for whatever reason. But like MGM doesn't scare me off. Like, you're talking about 6 or 7 books that are priced well below those two. Like, just because there's one outlier above me, I'm not gonna run away from that.
All right. What about your bet sizing? You're just kind of flat betting these, or how would you recommend going about it?
Bad question. I max it all. If it's over 6% EV, I'm maxing it out on FanDuel. For the results that I'm going to post here in a little bit, I will say, like, I wanted to test what the threshold was to get a good return for like the positive EV, what percentage it was at. So like, I'll go through first and I'll bet every bet at its EV percentage. So like a 2% bet, I threw $2 on it. 12% bet, I throw $12 on. And that way, when I went back and tagged, I would know what percent EV I played it at. So that's where I'm getting these levels of percent EV. So when I post those, it'll be all constant. If it was a 2% bet, it was a $2 bet. If it was a 10% bet, it was a $10 bet. So there's no like, it doesn't shift anything because I'm maxing everything. Like the ones that I'm maxing are not included in the tags that I'm going to post later for data. So
were you
that'll help?
Like just putting like $2 on a 2% EV play and then also betting it for like 100, or were you just only doing that?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll do that with 6% bets and higher. So like a 6% bet, I'll bet it for $6 and then I'll bet it again for whatever I can get down.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I should probably start doing that. At least hitting some of these.
Yeah, I'll post those results here in the Discord when we get off so everybody can have them and see them.
Cool. What's your sample size roughly?
A lot.
Yeah. Okay.
EV Adam made fun of me for how many bets I got down last month.
Yeah, you did.
Let me see.
How many bets did you have? I saw you had a ton.
So for NHL player props, it's 450 because I'll play everything just to collect data for that. What I'll post later. Do I really have to say how many bets I had off last month?
Oh yeah.
What would you guess, Robbie?
All right. Well, I know you did. How many did I bet? That's the question. I probably only bet a couple thousand. You probably have. I'm gonna say 6,000.
Oh God, I'm not that big of a degen. I had 3,700 bets.
All right, that's fine. Maybe I didn't get to it. Actually, I might have only placed 1,000 bets. So you probably.
I think I placed 1,000.
I guarantee you top that this month, though.
Yes.
Chap's level.
Yeah. Chap kind of cooled down a little bit.
Yeah.
He was due, though. Not too many college. I'm definitely going to come in through these NHL props later and try to hit these. We'll get an MLB prop bot still flagging. We need to clear these channels and get rid of them. MLB's all done. I wonder if that hit. Caesars team totals. What about team totals for NFL? You hitting those days out?
Not. It depends. Like DraftKings, I can only get like $20 down. So sometimes I'll hit those earlier, or like midweek. Mm-hmm. But mostly, I'm waiting on team totals till it gets closer.
Yeah.
With basketball, I'm starting to wait. Now that basketball is pinging, I'm waiting closer to game time or game day for football.
Oh, we got a free play in the Sigma section here. The money line favorite play. We got Ole Miss money line, Kansas State money line, Indiana, and Clemson.
Nice.
In a parlay.
Jealous.
Half unit.
So one of my really good friends went to Indiana and is from the Bloomington area, and he is just a 12 out of 10 excitement level for Hoosier football this year because they've played, I think, high school teams up until this point. But anyways, I was telling him that he's trying to get me on the Hoosier bandwagon, and I told him they've lost me so much money this year betting against them and betting on unders that I will never root for the Hoosiers ever. All right. I got to wrap up, guys. I don't know if you're going to stay on or not, but I am.
Yeah, I'll probably get going too.
Get going here soon.
All right. Well, let's end it then. Yeah, we should be back on hopefully next Saturday. So I'd like to start doing a couple during the week or something. We definitely be nice to do. But
for NBA tip or something.
Yeah. One last question here. Should so never mind. They asked if pings should pick up right before kickoff. Yeah, I would think now to kick off we should get some more college pings. So
you'll get a lot of college football pings like 7 to 10 a.m. too, like kind of just before we come on is heavy Saturday pings.
Yeah, and throughout the day also, just like
you'll get them all throughout the day.
Yeah, the 3 o'clock games start pinging at 2 or something. They're all over the place. Just keep an eye out.
Cool. All righty, guys.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Enjoyed it. All right.